When the University of Virginia suddenly seemed to erupt as the media's latest racial flashpoint, I went to Charlottesville to see what was happening behind the headlines. Here's my report. The blood was still on the sidewalk where 20-year-old Martise Johnson was arrested over a disputed ID after being turned away from a bar. At first glance, this looks like a case of cops out of control, except these weren't beat officers, they were Virginia alcohol control agents. We don't know if the confrontation across the street from the University of Virginia was racial in nature or to what degree the student was resisting arrest, without force, according to the charges. But while 16 television crews showed up in Charlottesville to cover the story, the truth is we still don't know exactly what happened before a bystander's cell phone video captured the bloody aftermath of a St. Patrick's Day arrest.
I go to UVA! I go to UVA! I go to UVA!
Stop fighting!
You racist!
Behind your back!
Racist! What the How did this happen? How did this happen, you racist? How did this happen?
But bartenders told me the arrests of underage students aren't unusual in this college town, and there are more than 1,600 a year across Virginia. So why has this turned into a national story? If it hadn't been for the cell phone video, which seems to be at the heart of so many of these racially charged cases, we probably wouldn't be here, and neither would a half dozen other television cameras who have come to Charlottesville to talk about the angry student reaction, particularly among blacks, to the incident at the bar. But in the age of video and a bloodied face, remember, we don't know what happened before. We don't see the resisting arrest. We don't know what led up to it, but we do see a guy who ended up with 10 stitches, who happens to be, I'm told, the only black member of the Honor Society here at the University of Virginia. So the media are magnifying the message. Emotions were running high at one of a series of protests organized by black students, and as they talked about the deaths of Michael Brown in Ferguson and Eric Garner on Staten Island, it became clear that the Martise Johnson incident simply served as a spark in igniting their grievances.
I was debating dropping out of school because this is so tough. This is mentally exhausting every single day. That the university was founded by Thomas Jefferson is, for students like Dania Huff, almost an insult. I need you to address that we have a race issue at this university. I need you to stop talking about Thomas Jefferson like he's a deity and realize that he's a slave-owning, racist, sexist beast.
Some of the protesters acknowledged to me they had no evidence that the scuffle with Johnson was racially motivated, but they're highly suspicious.
One of the things that really got to me about the Martise video is that if you watch it, he's on the ground and he's screaming like, I am a UVA student, I am a UVA student, I am a UVA student. And I think that should just be very clear to everyone that while yes, that is important, being a black male kind of supersedes that in the eyes of law enforcement. They're so quick to be heavy-handed when it is a black male because there is this perceived threat.
I don't feel like if it was a white student who had a fake ID, I don't even think he would have been arrested. I don't think there would have been an issue because there are plenty of students on this grounds with fake IDs, but none of them have been brutalized and put in the hospital.
The coverage ratcheted up when Virginia's Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe ordered a state investigation, and when UVA President Teresa Sullivan met with Martise Johnson and expressed her sympathy. Sullivan was criticized for overreacting by banning fraternities when Rolling Stone reported that a gang rape had taken place at a UVA frat. A botched story that was later discredited, but which led to journalists descending on the campus as they have again this week.
It's just the same old stuff. Media trucks coming in to try to get a story, and they leave. And
no death, 10 stitches, a little blood, and a little blood goes a long way. So that picture's maybe sort of exaggerated, but you know, the guy probably got hurt for sure.
UVA student Nick Christich sees the media rushing to judgment.
I just think that the facts haven't come out yet, at least to the public, and so I think this is a bit premature. I understand the incentives of doing so, but again, I think that the facts should drive the media coverage rather than the speculations that have come out based on other national recent issues that have emerged.
The man who could answer those questions made a brief appearance with his lawyer, Daniel Watkins, who made a statement on Johnson's behalf.
I'm shocked that my face was slammed into the brick pavement just across the street from where I attend school. 3 officers then pinned me to the ground, pressing their knees in my back while blood flowed freely from the gash to my head. As the officers held me down, one thought raced through my mind. How could this happen?
But Martise Johnson did not speak, and the lawyer took no questions from reporters. Johnson brushed aside questions from a Fox News producer on Friday as he marched with other students, leaving a media narrative missing crucial facts.
Martise, can you talk about what happened? Martise, can you talk about what happened?
We don't know exactly what happened outside Trinity Irish Pub with the arrest of Martise Johnson, whose blood is still on the sidewalk over here. But the invasion of television crews is already casting this as a national symbol of another racially charged incident involving a young black man.